accepting the feelings, even if it, like you said, even if it's not panic attacks or anything like that, even if it's just simply negative thoughts in general, I
Yeah,
find that when I was like at my most negative and I kind of either denied it or refused to accept it, the thought seemed that much bigger and that much more intimidating. Once I like realized, okay, this is how I'm feeling, and I addressed it, it didn't
yeah,
seem as bad in a
yeah.
way, if that makes sense.
Definitely. First step is like it's okay to feel this way. And
Yeah,
that's like the technique. Like you have to it has to come from a place of acceptance. Like anything that you're avoiding, you're gonna get more of it. That's kind of like a general rule that I've found. It's not until you let it be there that it can actually run its course
yeah.
and come out of you.
And that's like the other thing too, right? That you mentioned, like it's a process. I feel like with social media and everything, and like just seeing the end result for everything, you kind
Yeah.
of forget that there is such a long process to get to the point where these people are showing off. I remember when I first started like going to therapy and stuff, I was like, how long is this going to take? And she was like, I could not tell you. Originally, I had thought, oh, I'm going to go once and it's going to be fine.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll be right back to normal. And then after hearing that, yeah, that's not how it works. So that's definitely another point that I want the viewers to get is like it is a process and it is something you have to continuously work at.
Yeah.
You're not going to get results in one day. Like it's unrealistic to think like that.
And that's a huge point. But the only thing you can do is like I think it's better to think. I always try and think, what can I do right now, like
Yeah.
right at this moment. There's a lot of times, and it makes absolutely no sense, where I'll be like feeling pretty shitty, and I'll be like, oh, let's wait. Like when I get home, then I'll be able to like meditate, and then I'll finally feel
Yeah,
good. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that makes no. Then you're literally just saying like, I hate the way I'm feeling right now, instead of like, what can I literally do right now? If you're always pushing into the future, then that future never comes. It's the thing that we just said. You're training, and you can train. You can train calmness. You can train a bit of happiness, but you can also train yourself to think that it will only come in the future. And that's a habit that I have to catch myself in sometimes. Seeing people that are having a good time and showing off or whatever, right? I bet you've probably talked about it on the channel already. You don't know how these people are doing, right? Like, it's not that I'm bragging, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, Riley, you're probably having like the best time." You're like, "I'm so jealous," and I'm like, I'm posting pictures, posting stories. It doesn't mean I'm feeling good, right? Like sometimes you're just doing that because you're feeling bad. You're like, I need someone to just tell me that I'm having a good time. But
Yeah.
actually, that's just a quick fix sometimes that doesn't actually address the root problem. You look at it from the other side. It's so easy to look at everyone's life on Instagram and be like, oh my God,
Oh yeah.
why am I not doing what they're doing? A million people have talked about this, but it's just a point that is so important. It's like, it does not show how they're actually feeling. It's not that you should feel good that other people are feeling bad. It's just that you shouldn't feel like there's something wrong with you and you're the only one that feels like this, and everyone else is like, oh look, they got it together. Like they're feeling so great. They're living their lives. They're in Germany. Blah blah blah. You don't know, right? Everyone's human still.
I mentioned it in I think my first episode. Like social media only shows highlights. It doesn't show any like behind the scenes stuff. It doesn't show like what it took for the person to get there if they're actually feeling really good. Like it only shows highlights. And if you're only comparing yourself to highlights, like how are you ever going to be satisfied with anything?
That's true. I was talking about when I was in Germany struggling to meet people. That was another thing too. I didn't want to admit to the people that I was just meeting that I'm a little bit nervous or I'm not feeling the best. You want to try to, portray yourself in a good way when you're meeting new people and like, so that, you can integrate into their friend group and stuff. I felt like I couldn't be myself in the beginning. That was a huge thing too, because I didn't have these friends that I could be like, okay, I can be totally open with you and be like, this is how I'm feeling. I didn't feel that comfort yet. I didn't have, like, I wasn't being authentic with how I was actually feeling. And I was always trying to present this like confident person, even though I was like not feeling good inside and I was feeling nervous. Again, I'm still like thinking, oh, I have to be this person. Like, this is who I am, instead of being like okay with it and just, okay, let's say I go out and I try and do what I feel like doing. And if I don't feel like talking so much and being like super loud and extroverted, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel like that, because I get caught up in that so much, it's something I'm working on. because I can do that sometimes. Like I'm feeling really good, like I want to meet people, talk to people, but then I get stuck in this, like, this is who you have to be.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think I'm still an introvert at heart, even though I can fake it pretty good sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, I'm overthinking everything, and I'm actually feeling pretty bad, but I still feel like I should present this person. If I feel like saying something, I'll say something, and when I feel like talking, I'll talk. And it's okay to not look like the most confident person there. And it's just allowing that to be okay, and allowing yourself to feel the way that you are feeling.